Ski.
Hey, welcome back to In the Can. We're here with one of my favorites of all time, Caroline Libresco. She is a senior programmer for the festival, and she's also the director of special programs, which it seems like could be like the end-all, be-all crown of doing whatever you want. I mean, really.
I know. It's like it's such a general. Well, that's the job where I work for the Institute on interdepartmental programs. So programs that combine the documentary side of things with the feature side of the fiction side of things.
Look at you.
We do all kinds of programs together, like this new women's initiative that we have, and a new program called Catalyst. The Catalyst program, which is to help investors and financiers connect with projects, both documentaries and fiction.
So go figure, to actually get the stories out in front of people and let people see these films.
Well, get them financed, right? You know, you have to get some money first.
Yeah, well, Caroline, you know, you've been, I mean, I've known you forever. I mean, if you're reading the film guide or the catalog, chances are Caroline wrote most of those synopses
I can't
of
do
those
credit
films.
for this.
Well, here's the thing. My point is you're part of actually putting this whole thing together.
I'm part of an amazing team of programmers who literally sift through thousands of films, debate them with great rigor every year, and we have a really smart and engaged team, including people like Trevor Groth, John Nine, Shari Freelo, Kim Yutani, David Courier, John Cooper.
Yeah, and all veterans.
That's the
They've been around
team.
for a long
We've all
time.
been around for a long time, and we all know each other really well, and we all get together, and it's like about a 5-month process, and we work through until we whittle it down to this 119 feature films that we present.
How many films did you see personally?
You know, it's hard to know, but I think I'm around the 400 range.
You have a dream job, you know that?
But you know what? My eyes are tired.
So do you even see any films during the week? I mean, no, you look fantastic. You always look fantastic. But I mean, during the week, I mean, you're out, you're presenting the films, you're introducing directors.
While I'm here, I've pretty much seen everything already because our team sees everything, and we kind of together really kind of shape and curate the whole program. So we've all seen everything, and then it's our job to present it to the audiences. It's kind of exciting. It's like until the moment of the festival, it's just all in our imagination. The 8 of us, like we think we know what's good, but then we don't know how it's going to play with audiences. So right now we're experiencing this really magical moment of when the audience, files in. I was just at an 8:30. I was just introducing an 8:30 documentary at the Prospector, 330 seats, every seat taken. For a film called The Overnighters, which is an incredible documentary. Everyone is about to discover.
Right.
And we discovered it, and now we get to share it.
And chances are you were probably watching it with the filmmaker who had never seen it with an audience either.
That's right.
And so they're experiencing that same. I hope this resonates. I hope the story makes sense. I've been staring at it for 4 years. I don't even know what it is anymore. It
becomes something else when there's a big audience there. And Sundance audiences are the best audiences in the world because they're so excited to be here. They're so open-hearted. And in the case of The Overnighters, the main character, the guy that the film's about, who really puts his life on the line in the film, really shares something very vulnerable about his life, is in the audience as well.
Oh man!
And he's going to be there after for a Q&A.
And he's part of that Q&A.
That's the magic. That is really truly the magic. And last night, I was introducing and moderating the Q&A for Rory Kennedy's new film, Last Days in Vietnam, and that story is an incredible story of the last days when when the Americans had to scram out of South Vietnam, out of Saigon, and the North Vietnamese were coming, and they had to decide to take South Vietnamese,
fill those warships with
them, and they did it against. No one gave them that order. They just did it.
Well,
and a lot of those heroes were up on the stage afterwards.
I was just going to say that, and that's really what makes it come to life, doesn't it? Yesterday we talked to Rory, and she brought along Kim Do, who was one of those people that were there, and it just brought so much dimension to the idea of the story. It just made you want to just go.
These are like. Documentary subjects are, for me, the real heroes of the Sundance Film Festival. I'll never forget when we had Romeo Dallaire, the guy who was the last UN peacekeeping force left in Rwanda during the genocide of Rwanda, and he came to Sundance and presented the film about that year that he spent in Rwanda during the genocide, and he was here. Last year we had Robert Reich, for Inequality for All. This year, the E-Team. There's a film called the E-Team. And it's about these people, these amazing heroes who work for Human Rights Watch, and they go into war zones and they report on atrocities that are happening as they happen. And because of social media, they can report and they can actually get attention to the region and make a difference right then and there.
Right.
And these people are here at the festival. People like this.
Isn't it fun to watch their reaction?
When they see the audience?
Yeah, I just,
like,
over so many years, I've been to so many of the premieres and the Q&As, and the subjects of these documentaries, the film is over, they introduce them, the place goes nuts.
Yes.
And these subjects of these documentaries, regular people who have been through, for the most part, some really
through hell of some sort.
Right. And they're just all of a sudden, for the first time, actually noticing that people care about their story. I mean, that must be remarkable.
And I think people respond so much to. I've realized people respond so much to documentaries because it's about real people, and we see ourselves in that. We see our foibles, our struggles, our stumbling, all of us through life, right? Being human, and that's what they're all about. And so we get to see that reflected back, and I think that's partly why they're so powerful. There's so many great documentaries in this festival right now. I'm so proud of that.
Let's talk about some of the other things you're doing. You're talking about one of the new titles I think I saw on your women's programming.
So
tell me what it is, because this is new to me.
This is so exciting. Carrie Putnam is the executive director of the Sundance Institute, and she's an extraordinary leader. She connected with a really good kind of colleague of hers named Kathy Schulman, who heads up Mandalay Pictures. She actually won an Academy Award for Crash, but she heads up Mandalay, and she also is the president of the board of Women in Film Los Angeles. So Carrie and Kathy got together and they said, hey, we're noticing our gut is telling us there's something wrong in the film industry vis-a-vis women behind the camera. Right. And it was a gut feeling. So Carrie brought a few of us together, and we decided to undertake some real research on this. Okay. So Sundance Institute undertook research with USC, University of Southern California's Annenberg School, and a team of people led by Professor Stacy Smith, who's a sociologist of media. We opened up the Sundance records for the last 12 years, and we looked at the festival, and we looked at the labs, and we looked at how are women faring. Directors, producers, specifically, how are they faring behind the camera? And where are we with that? So we have some extraordinary results. We're about to announce our second phase of research. We announced a huge amount of that research last year at this festival, where we had literally more than 50 million impressions of stories that went around the world about this research. But the general gist of it is, at the Sundance Film Festival over 12 years, women directors comprise 25% of films that are made in narratives. In documentaries, it's around 35%. So documentaries are doing a little better overall. But what we've understood is we have a very, very long way to go. And so the question for this initiative at the Sundance Institute is, what do we need to do to bring equity into that space? And that's what we're addressing right now.
Well, and it's great to get the dialogue started too. And hopefully, the results of that research will be available for us to see.
They absolutely will. On the Sundance website after Monday, it will be available. www.sundance.org, and you'll find it there.
You are the busiest woman on planet Earth. You really are.
You're so kind.
So thank you so much for taking some time with us. This is Caroline Libresco, senior programmer and director of special programs, and apparently wears many more hats. You're going to see her a lot if you're out on Main Street or at some of the theaters. If you see one of the docs, chances are Caroline will be there to share it with you. So thanks for coming by. We'll have more in the can after this. Stay tuned.